2020 was a, well, interesting year. A lot of good came out of it, along with some challenges. For sure, 2020 was a ride on the wild mouse kind of year. 2020 started off just like any year. City meetings in the council chambers, high school basketball with large crowds. We learned to cook and chatted just like we've always done.
On March 12th, we packed up the van with gear, and Pete and Adam drove to St. George for the beginning of the baseball season.
We're somewhere near Beaver, and we hear the radio report. Governor Herbert announces that all school sports and activities would be suspended.
Canceled.
Starting on Monday, March 16th. What?
We tried contacting the teams. No luck there. We drove on wondering if we'd have any games.
Even when we arrived, it was confusing. Changes in venues, times. There we were at a baseball game that on Monday would be taboo. But that weekend, it was fine. Figure that out.
We came home to the beginning of a new reality.
Our calendar was suddenly empty. We couldn't film anything in the community. Music and arts, community documentaries, nothing. And no one really knew what we could film or even when.
COVID-19 changed the way we created, worked, and delivered our content. It was in those first days that we realized that Spanish Fork 17 was more important now than ever.
We adapted quickly to our city's needs. City Council and Planning Commission meetings went virtual, and Facebook Live numbers increased, and residents were able to comment in real time.
Our senior center was closed because of the higher risk to that population. We created a new program that brought the fun of the center home. Music, jokes, information, physical activities, and crafts. Every month we made a new one. We're now in our 14th episode, and the response has been great.
We produced programs with the Economic Development Office and the Chamber of Commerce to discuss relief options for local businesses. We searched for digital press content from the CDC on preventative measures, and we produced messages of encouragement from city leaders.
We reached out to the community and schools for home movies and video assignments to showcase our youth. The Wild Mouse ride took many more turns in 2020. As we saw civil unrest across the country, we worked with the Public Safety Department on messages of trust and education.
We are your Spanish Fork Police Department, here to protect and serve.
Spanish Fork's popular events and sense of community were also affected by the pandemic. The American Legion Post-68 Memorial Day celebrations and other veteran events were canceled. However, we did compile footage from previous years to create all new programs. Fiesta Days was also dramatically reduced, but yet again, we were able to create best-of programs from past content. On TV or online, Fiesta Days was huge. And in December, even with continuing restrictions, our Shop with a Cop video was still fresh and meaningful with new self-distance interviews and highlights.
Just like Spanish Fork 17, the city did not sleep. More economic programs and a very successful Shop Local program were rolled out, and we were there to help. We were even able to produce the Miss Spanish Fork competition live for a large audience.
Two of the biggest and much-needed additions to the city that were started in the calm of 2019 were completed in 2020. The All Abilities Park was opened in the late summer and has already blessed the lives of countless families. Then, shortly after, Station 62 opened on the east side of town. This premier facility will allow fire and EMS crews to more quickly provide services to the residents in that area.
In our regular Spanish Fork 17 content, we certainly made changes. For example, our talk show, Studio Chatter, went to a Zoom meeting format and eventually came back to the studio, but in a more socially distant form. Our Shootin' Straight program went Zoom for a time, but now it's waiting for better weather and conditions. Even Goose and Robbie Boy started wearing masks to be a good example.
As the year progressed, our involvement with the schools also changed. Graduation ceremonies were not allowed, so we produced drive-by processions along with virtual commencements. We heard parents loved the video so much, they hoped this style of graduation would still happen even after the pandemic.
Sporting events have started again, and our broadcasts are more important than ever, especially with the limited crowds allowed to the games. And we were continuing to coordinate our live streams of musical concerts and, when possible, stage performances and other art events.
2020 was also a milestone for our fearless leader. Director John Bocut retired from the city with a list of accomplishments too long for this presentation, but thank you, John, for your support. As we begin 2021, our routines are still ever-changing, but our purpose and mission remain the same. We make people laugh, we make them cry, we entertain and inform, we build community. And it's still true, Spanish Fork 17 is needed more now than ever.